Today, I'm going to talk about how to get into the vacation rental business. So how do you get into the vacation rental business? It might seem like an overwhelming task, but by the end of this video, I will share with you exactly how to get into the vacation rental business and set you up for long-term success. Owning and operating vacation rentals is one of the most amazing segments in all of real estate investing. A few reasons I love vacation rental properties is they are usually in awesome areas and can be amazing properties that make money every single month. But they allow you as the owner investor to be able to travel there sometimes and utilize it yourself. But getting started is usually the biggest holdup and the biggest challenge for most people. However, that is why we'll dive into this video today by first explaining what the vacation rental business is. Secondly, I will help you understand how to find vacation rental properties and know where to look, but also what to look out for. And finally, I will show you how to keep your vacation rental business humming and set it apart from all your competition. If you're ready, let's go. So what is the vacation rental business? Well, just know it's one of the fastest growing segments in all of real estate investing. It's very similar to the short-term rental market, or otherwise known as Airbnbs, and those names are usually synonymous with each other. But when you think of vacation rentals, think of destinations or vacations where people want to travel to. Example, Disney World. So I knew this and understood this when I first got it started. I started diving into vacation rentals about 5 years ago. I wanted to really understand where to buy one, where to look at, and I started looking at numbers. And one area that consistently stood out pretty good was close to Disney World, Orlando, Kissimmee, and I found a realtor there, and I was really fortunate to find this realtor. He was more than just a realtor. He understood. He had a property management company. He understood how to attract visitors, and he knew what separated winning vacation rentals from ones that weren't winning. And I learned a lot from this individual. And as I found him, we found a property that made absolute sense for us to purchase and buy. It was just after COVID, but we knew that people were going to start wanting to go back to Disney World. Matter of fact, people were starting to travel there already, but the interesting thing is the international market hadn't been traveling there yet, but that was coming soon. And so we found a home. We invested additional money to really set this home apart, to really add value to it and theme out every room, change the garage into a theater room that was themed with the Avengers, and even have a themed dinosaur, a velociraptor upstairs in the game room of the kids. It has been absolutely spectacular. Even though it cost quite a bit of money to theme that house out, it has been one of the best money makers I've ever had in any real estate investment I've ever done. And it's in a vacation area that people want to travel to. And so why are they so popular? If you haven't guessed, it's because, like I said, you can own them as an individual, you can travel there yourself, or you're making money from them every single month, and you can own them in different parts of the world, United States definitely, and in cool areas, and everybody wants to vacation anyway. People are wanting to travel. The demand to travel is not going down. The demand to experience things is not going down. And I think it's even more so. I think with COVID, people felt bottled up. They felt like they were trapped, and they realized how important it was for them and their health, their mental health, emotional health, physical health, to get out, go travel, go experience things rather than staying bottled up. I even think that grew the demand for vacationing and getting out. And with that, the desire to vacation is going up. If you look at even the last few vacations that you took yourself, chances are, if you went with your family or a group of families, you stayed at an Airbnb, you stayed at a vacation rental. The fact that people crave more an experience when they travel is only rising. They want to stay at a place, an experience versus a hotel. That's also growing. That demand is going up. Another factor for popularity is they are money makers. As I mentioned with our vacation rental in Florida, it's been one of the best money makers in any real estate deal I've ever done that produces income every single month for me. And they exploded in popularity about 5 to 8 years ago. This is where people realized, okay, we've got these places that people want to vacation to. Organizations, companies were encouraging people to take time off, get away, because they know if somebody goes away, they're on vacation, they're able to relax, rest their mind, come back to work, chances are that's a better employee down the road. So not only were they wanting to go, it was encouraged from the work side, and families do want to get away. They want to experience different parts of the United States. My family and I took a trip in the southeastern part of the United States just last year, and everywhere we stopped at probably 4 or 5 major different cities, and we stayed at vacation rentals or our own Airbnbs to have that experience, and it was absolutely amazing. And you saw this where vacation rentals became popular and people started to gobble those up just in the last few years because interest rates were also so low, right? People could pick them up as a second home with a low down payment and a very low interest rate and be able to put that on Airbnb or Vrbo and start making money. And that's about when I started getting interested. About 5 years ago, I started looking into vacation rental properties, and I started to see that this could be a great investment that I could make in my real estate portfolio. So I started researching, looking like crazy, where are the best places that people want to travel to when they go on vacation, and did the numbers support it? Which takes me to the next section, is how do you find vacation rental properties? How do you know which ones to buy? So here's exactly what I did. I went on to Google and I started researching just that. Where are the best places to own a vacation rental property? I started comparing which ones were typically at the top in most publications. I started looking at the data, like how many visitors, annual visitors attend there every single year. And then I started comparing that data to an amazing tool called airdna.co that allows you to look at average occupancy rate, average nightly rental, average monthly income. And if you put all those things together, you're going to have some areas that start floating to the top as the best places to look when you're looking to start your vacation rental business or to buy a vacation rental property. Then there's about 5 other things you need to look at when you consider it. Regulations. Regulations are really important. I know an individual that in the town he lived in, he moved to Wyoming and he had a home in Idaho and he started renting out as a short-term rental. But the city he lived in Idaho started to ban short-term rentals about 10 years ago. He was way ahead of his time. He got really upset because that's how he made his money. That's how he paid for the mortgage in the place that he lived. There was a lot of fight, debate that went on, and I think eventually he was able to keep it as a short-term rental, grandfathered in the place where he had lived. But if you don't understand the regulations and you buy a home and all of a sudden regulations change or they're not set up completely to benefit you as a vacation rental, then you could be in a lot of trouble. So understanding regulations in the area is vital. Obviously, can you afford that area? If you go in with a certain budget and every home in that area is above your budget, you need to look elsewhere. That's pretty common knowledge, but something that needs to be said. Are there active listings of vacation rentals in the area? Can you go on there? Can you search and see, okay, there's quite a few vacation rentals here. This is an area that has opportunity for people that want to stay here, vacation here. You got to look at optimal size bedrooms and bathroom counts. The one we own in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, but that was by design, right? We wanted an area where couples could go, get away from Dallas, get away from Oklahoma, Tulsa, Little Rock, where they could travel to for a weekend or a few nights during the week to have an experience where it's just them and their spouse, their boyfriend, girlfriend, being able to get away and experience something rather than a hotel that's in a beautiful wooded area with a hot tub, an outdoor cooking area, fireplace, fire pit, and different games they can play outside, close to a beautiful lake. And so that type of vacation rental does really well, even though it's only a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. We understood that, knew that going into it. We talked to realtors and property managers and found out that those had done really well. So understanding that is vitally important to your vacation rental business. And the last thing is a revenue target, which I'll cover just at the very end here. That's a quick analysis that helps you understand if it's a good deal or not right from the get-go, or if you should put more due diligence and understanding if you should buy it or not. So what caution should you take when looking at a vacation rental? You know, number one, you got to realize that it takes time to provide an experience for somebody that is unique and that they're going to talk about. It takes time to put energy, effort, thought into that and create that type of experience. So it's not something just absolutely passive, right? The money coming in is passive, but there is work that needs to be put into it, especially if you self-manage. Connecting with the sites, answering questions, being able to talk to cleaners, maintenance people, getting all those things done to make sure it runs smoothly is vitally important, and it does take time and effort. You've also got to be looking and be careful of saturated areas. If there's an area that is just flooded with vacation rentals, what is going to make yours different than the hundreds or thousands of other vacation rentals that exist in that place? You've got to know if you're in a saturated area or if the area is saturated, and that can be done just simply searching and seeing how many Airbnbs, Vrbos, vacation rentals are there in that area. So how do you get started? If you don't have tons of money to get started, can you start experiencing what vacation rental business owners experience? Absolutely. If you go look on any Airbnb or Vrbo platform, even if it's a tent in your backyard, if you live in a nice area, you put a tent in the backyard, it could even be a room in your house. I've stayed at a room in somebody's house before just because I didn't want to pay for a hotel, and it was just a quick night stay, but they made $60, $70 just by having me stay there. I just slept in the bed. It was really nice. It was convenient. So you can start small. So that brings me to the most important part of the video. How do you separate your vacation rental business from all the others and run it like a boss? First off, the number one thing you do when you're looking for properties is find a unique property that has unique features or something you can enhance to set it apart from all the others. You know, our Blue Ridge, Georgia home, it's at the end of a cul-de-sac, and actually it's a road that goes up a little bit and forks off into 2 different roads, and we're the second home from the end on a dead-end road. But the views of this place are absolutely amazing. All 3 levels, you can stand in there and look at the views of the sun setting over the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it creates the most amazing colors. That's never going to go away, and it's still 13 minutes from downtown Blue Ridge. And so having a unique property, there's one individual who bought a property in the same type of area, and it has a little tiny pond next to the property. It's absolutely unique and different. So setting it apart from all the others or buying one that is unique is really going to set your foot on the right path to get started with a vacation rental business. And obviously find properties that support your data. You've got to be able to look at AirDNA and see if the numbers make sense. You've got to find a short-term rental calculator, a vacation rental calculator to plug those numbers in, get all the expenses out there, all the income out there, and see if it really does turn a profit for you. And there are vacation rental calculators out there, and they're absolutely vital to help you understand and analyze their property. And then other things you can do is really make your property stand out. Once you buy it, there are things you can do that are unique and different that set yours apart from others. And being very thoughtful and creative can help you do that. And that could be any type of thing. It could be design that you do inside the home, like we did with our Orlando property close to Disney, where we themed out every room. It could be amenities inside the home. At some of our cabins that are bigger that we know attract families and lots of families, we have hot dog makers in there that are on rollers like the ones you get at the gas station. We have a comment probably every month that they say the kids love that. They can put hot dogs on there. We have a refrigerator full of hot dogs. They go on there and they just put a hot dog on the roller. Kids can get one anytime they want. We've heard of rentals that have ice cream makers in them. So there's a lot of different things you can do to really set your vacation rental property apart. And I would really encourage you to put the time, energy, and creative thought into that to know exactly what to do. Finally, let's look at the quick analysis from a financial standpoint. And this is always a general rule of thumb that requires a lot more diligence and a lot more analysis. But the general rule of thumb, if you can find a property where annual revenue is at least 10% of the purchase price of the property, so let's say the property is $400,000, you want the annual rents to be at least $40,000. If that's true, you do additional research on it to see if you can enhance it. It doesn't mean buy it, but it's a good general rule of thumb that it might be a good deal. If it's 15% of the purchase price, let's say you're doing $60,000 a year in annual rent and the purchase price is $400,000, that's a good deal, right? That's one that you should seriously consider buying. Do a little bit more research to make sure that everything lines up. And the last one is if it's 20%. If you're buying it for $400,000 and annual rents are $80,000, that's an almost do not pass up deal. And that's when you need to really consider pulling the trigger on as quick as you can or get it under contract to do further due diligence, because those are rare. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I've got a short-term rental calculator, or you need a short-term rental calculator. I actually have one for you, absolutely free. It'll do all the analysis for you. It'll do that work that I said that you need to do, and it's quick and easy. You put in the income, you put in the expenses, and it spits out for you whether it's a good deal or not. And it even gives you a cash-on-cash return. All you do is click on the link below, aaronsfreetraining.com, and you can have access to that. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.